Hello there, I'm Bob Proctor, and I would like to ask you a couple of questions. And I'd like you to really think about this for a few minutes. Have you ever wondered why some people really work hard and achieve very little? Have you ever taken a look at the idea that a very small percentage of the people seem to earn enormous amounts of money while the masses are really struggling to get by? I know I wondered about that for a long time. Do you know that 1% of our population earns 96% of all the money that's being earned? Have you ever wondered why there's people that are probably nowhere near as bright as you, and yet they seem to be doing so much better? Here's another question that you should give a little thought to. Have you ever wondered why in large sales forces, I've worked with companies that had 20,000 salespeople, they have some individuals that are earning more commissions, they're selling more than entire offices or regions possibly all put together. How does that happen? Why is there such a total imbalance in productivity of people? Well, you know, the obvious answer is generally the wrong answer. Let me explain. Around 40 years ago, 45 years ago, I was given a book. Now, when I was given that book, I was going in the wrong direction. I only had a couple of months high school, so I had virtually no formal education. I had no business experience to speak of at all. I really didn't have a very good attitude, and I had a bad work record. I was earning $4,000 a year at the time, and I owed $6,000. I was working as a firefighter for a city in Canada. And you know, just like that, my income took off like a rocket. I went from the $4,000 to $175,000 a year, and then I took it over $1 million a year. Now, that would have been enough to keep most people happy. What it really did is puzzled the daylights out of me. Because you see, I had been raised with the idea if you were going to earn a lot of money, you had to really be bright. And I knew I wasn't that bright. I was raised with the idea that if you're going to do very well in business, you're going to have a great formal education. And of course, I didn't. Do you know, Andrew Carnegie one time told Napoleon Hill, the accumulation of great fortunes calls for power. And he says, power is acquired through highly organized and intelligently directed specialized knowledge. But he said, the person who collects the fortune doesn't have to be the one that has the knowledge. Well, that's really what happened to me. Now, I didn't know that, what Carnegie told Hill at that time, but I was really puzzled, and I wasn't satisfied with winning. I had to know why, because everything that was happening to me was going in the opposite direction of everything that I was raised to believe was going to happen to me. And so I thought someone has to know why I changed, and they've either written in a book or they're talking about it, because I couldn't find anyone that could really explain that to me. I was to find that the top producers in some of the largest companies in the world cannot explain exactly why they're the top producers. I've worked for some of the largest insurance companies in the world, and they will have industrial psychologists shadow these top producers trying to figure out what they're doing, and they've never been able to figure it out. Well, I did. And I didn't figure it out by accident. I figured it out through an enormous amount of study. I've read thousands of books, and I wouldn't even want to guess at the number of seminars that I've attended. I have been fortunate enough to be educated by some of the most brilliant people in the world. I spent 5 years in Chicago as the vice president of sales for the Nightingale Conant Corporation. I worked right beside Lloyd Conant and Earl Nightingale. That is one of the largest distribution houses in the world of self-help material. It took me 9 years to figure out exactly what happened. And the information that came to me came from a doctor in San Antonio, Texas. He was involved in the healing arts, and he couldn't understand why the medical profession were always treating symptoms and never treating the cause of illness. And he stumbled on the information. He said, you know, we think in pictures. Think of your automobile for a minute. Be aware that a picture of it came on the screen of your mind. Or think of your refrigerator in your kitchen, and an image will come on the screen of the mind. Now think of the mind. And when we go to think of the mind, we've got no picture. Now, if there's no picture, there's confusion. That's why Solomon said, where there's no vision, the people will perish. And he said, since no one's ever seen the mind, I'm going to draw a picture of the mind. And he pointed out that mind was movement, and the body is the manifestation of that movement. And I began to study with him. And I took this image, and I started to work with it, and I started to clearly understand what happened to me. See, there's two parts to our mind. Now, I suppose there's many parts, but there's two distinct parts to our mind. One part that gathers information, and another part that controls our behavior, which, of course, produces our results. And this explains why some people are absolutely brilliant, but they're not getting very good results. See, they're not acting on the information they've got. You probably know how to do better than you're doing. I know most people do. Well, I started to do better, and I had to know why, and this is where it led me. And I became so fascinated with this, I began to teach it. Now, that was 38 years ago. It was around 45 years ago that my whole life changed. And you know, I've worked with some of the largest companies in the world, all over the world, in Asia, throughout Europe, Australia, North America. And then I decided that I wasn't going to do a whole lot on my own. No one ever does. I thought I have to leverage myself. And so I put together a team of people, and we began training people to teach the information that I have been teaching for many years. And some of the results I've seen are shocking. If we ever get an opportunity to sit down together, if you ask me, I'll tell you. And I'll show you how major corporations raised their sales by hundreds of millions of dollars. Ordinary people became multimillionaires. And you know, it wasn't even difficult. And the same information would take students in school that were struggling and like that, turn them into honor students. Now, the individual that gave you this DVD has the information that I'm talking about. And what I would like to suggest is that you call them, because their number is on this DVD, and tell them that you have set aside 45 minutes that will be undisturbed, and have them explain this to you. And I can assure you, when they do, you're going to want the information they have. And they can show you how you can put it to work either for yourself or for your organization if you happen to have a company. It's the most fascinating information that I have ever seen. And I have never yet sat down with the CEO of a large or small company that wasn't totally, absolutely fascinated with it. It is so simple and it's so misunderstood. Well, you know, the answers to the questions that I asked at the beginning of this DVD, the person has that gave you the DVD. And I believe you owe it to yourself to get some of those answers. Because if you want to multiply your income, they can show you how to do it. If you want to do a lot better with a lot less effort, they'll show you how to do it. You see, we've been raised to believe that you go to work to earn money. That's not true. You go to work for satisfaction. You provide service to earn money. Well, they'll explain that in depth. But I can show you how to enjoy much more of life. You see, I really believe in an old saying that I learned many years ago. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing is lifestyle. We get one life. And I believe we should enjoy it. I think we should be able to travel throughout the world. I think we should be able to have what we want. We should be able to have time and money freedom. And not only can we have it, we can share it with everyone we come in contact with, because you're going to find that the source of supply is already with you right now. When you turn this DVD off, don't do anything until you phone and tell the person that you have set aside 45 minutes, and please, no distractions. You turn the phone off, no interruptions, and give your mind and your attention to the information they've got. It'll be the wisest decision you've ever made. So now just hit the stop button, pick up your phone, and give them a call. And I look forward to meeting you. My name is Bob Proctor. I'm the chairman of the Life Success Group of Companies, and we have people scattered all over the world. and one of them